got a bad little baby and she on go. She wanna slide with a ball to the head, boo. And I'ma give her everything that she asks for. And she love to run it back like a nympho.
How y'all doing? I am TRCaution. This is I Drop Gems. Today's topic is going to be 50-50 relationships. If you like the work, subscribe, comment. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you want to talk back to me, you want me to talk back to you, just, drop something in the comments. And we're going to talk about, like I said, 50-50 relationships. I just start out with communication. How important is communication to you? Basically, when it comes to a relationship, a friendship, a fiance, a marriage, can we communicate? Because communication is going to be the key for us explaining if we're going to get to the 50-50, if we're going to get to the 60-40, if we're going to get to the 100-0, or we're going to get to whatever number that we're trying to get to. Because in a nutshell, we want to be on the same accord. If we jump in this relationship saying to ourselves that we're going to build or we're going to grow, we're going to have to communicate. So you won't have an ill feeling towards me, and I won't have one towards you. That we understand one another, what we like in, what we want to grow at, what we trying to make it to. And I believe that's like the number one, factor in where we gonna go at. So when I say communication, it's like, well, if you want me to be 100% on the bills, if you want me to be 100% on how I love you, if you want to be 100% on how I care for you, if you want to be 100% on what I think of, like, it can go around the border what you want to do. It's not just finances. It will be whatever you feel is what you need from me or I need from you. And I think people should be okay with saying what they need from a person. Don't wait till down the line when you figure out, oh, this one I want you to be 100%, or this one I want you to be 50%, or this one I want you to give 100%, or this one I want you to give 50%. It's got to make sense. And that's the biggest communication factor, is knowing what you're getting yourself into. Because you can tell yourself 100 things, but that only one thing is going to count to the other person. You may tell yourself, well, I don't want to go 100. And she may be saying she want 100. Who knows? I don't, everybody has a different outlook on what they want from a man or a woman, but you have to be specific and strong in what you want. And when it comes to love and understanding a person, you have to be willing to give 100 or 50 or 20 if they tell you, or if they want that from you. If it's finances, if they want 50, 100, 20%, whatever they want for you, you have to be willing to speak about it. Say it. Get it off your chest. Get it off your mind. Understand that if you don't communicate with that person, your point will never be taken. Your feelings will never be taken. Your approach will never be taken the way you want to get it across. So you won't get into that mindset where you don't understand what a person wants from you. Because it's very important to communicate in any kind of relationship, any kind of friendship, any kind of engagementship, any kind of marriage. You want to be able to communicate on all levels, because it's going to make it so much easier when you're trying to grow, when you're trying to get to the next place. And I believe that if you start with that foundation, it's easier to build upon. If the concrete laid, we can build a house, we can put an apartment complex, we can put a duplex, we can put a skyriser, because we have the foundation built. However, if we don't have the foundation built, and the foundation being communication, how can we get to the next level? So take the time to communicate what you want from a person. And it's not just about finances. It's communicate really what you want from a person. Even if it's from day one, when you meet them on your first date, on your first encounter, I'm like, are you serious about what you want? Because at the end of the day, nobody likes to be shocked. Nobody likes to not understand. Nobody likes to be held to a standard they can't keep, because it's not fair. But if we communicate it, we can get to the point where we understand that, okay, this sounds good, I can work on that, or I can't work on that. Do we want to end this, or we want to grow upon this? So, number one is communication. Realistic expectations. A lot of people have what they see on TV, what they see on fairy tales, what they hear in the streets, what they don't hear in the streets. But be realistic what you want from a person. Tell a person what you're realistically willing to receive, take, understand, and or know. You know, if I'm out here making $30,000 a year and we dating and we trying to get somewhere and you want me to take care of you, the house, the bills, it's 2023. That 30,000 ain't gonna stretch like you wanted to stretch or I wanted to stretch. Realistically, that 30,000 might not be to the point where I can take care of me, you, us if we got kids. Like, that's where the number at. However, if I'm making 100 grand, 200 grand, 500 grand, I'm a millionaire. Now we talking common sense, realistically. But we can tell each other, well, okay, you tell me, babe, I expect this from you. A husband, boyfriend, whatever you want to call your significant other, what you expect from them. Be realistic with what you want from a person. If you know a man ain't there, understand that he may get there, but you have to be willing to endure where y'all trying to go at. If you ain't willing to do that, say it to him. If you a man and you know you ain't the type of man, you ain't been raised, you don't know how to do it, you can't take care of the whole household, you can't do the loving, you can't do whatever that woman or man is asking, but you just say it. Be realistic. Stop going and stuff thinking that somebody's supposed to do what you want them to do. No matter where you came from, we talking about the right now. We're not talking about where we going. We're not talking about the if we coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Again, that falls back on communication, being realistic. If I'm a multi-millionaire, you definitely ain't got to worry about no bills. But if you date men that making 20, 30, a little under 40,000, and you want him to take care of you and the house and the kids and the bills, baby, I'm gonna be honest with you. You asking for a lot. Cause he may be in the place where he ain't there yet. You know, everything being in his life might not be aligned to take care of you there. Are you willing to endure? Are you willing to wait till I get to that 80,000, 100,000, 200,000? To know that when I get to that point, I'm willing to put you in that place where you can sit home and chill, or run your business or go to school, whatever you choose to do. But realistically, the numbers got to make sense. If the numbers make sense, the rest of it gonna make sense. If the numbers don't make sense, don't go to bed harping or being upset about what somebody hasn't done or can't give you. If you know the numbers don't add up. If you want a big baller, go find you a big baller. If you want a regular Joe, go find you a regular Joe. However, when you're being realistic, you understand the person who you're talking to and or dealing with can go to the next level with you. You know, when you get around your friends or your peers or your people or your mama and you want to know why they living how they living, it was a process. It was steps to getting to that point. You know, every man that out here making 200 grand, 100 grand. For me, I can be honest. I can handle the load because, you know, I put in the work to get there, but that wasn't something that I could do when I was 18. Some men can't do it at 25. Some men can't do it at 35. Some men can't do it at 45. But being realistic, you know who you are talking to, who you want. If he making 20, 30, 40,000 and you want to sit home all day, baby, you have to think about that. If she making 20,000, 40,000, you want to be the sit at home dad, because the roles reverse sometimes. You know, you got to understand she can't take care of you like that way. Some people, some people like it that way. Hey, who am I to each his own what they like or what they don't like? However, you have to have realistic expectations of what you want from that person. Because it really does matter. It's to a point where you have to be okay with that person not being who you want them to be, but wanting to grow with that person. Or that person not being who you want them to be, that you're willing to stick in for that person to get to where they're trying to go. If you don't, you ain't got to do nothing you want to do. I'm pretty sure nobody held something to your head. Nobody, made you blur to what was going on. If you were blurred to it, that would be your own outlook on it. So don't be so unrealistic to what's going on. If the numbers don't add up, nothing gonna add up. If you see the future and you understand you're willing to go to the next level with that person, then do that. A lot of people do things because they see the internet, the Instagram, the Facebooks, the TV shows where everybody got all this money. That ain't real life. Somebody got a real life old man making $20,000. Somebody got a real life old lady making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. With that income, you want a person to take care of the home, the cars, the car notes, the kids, the daycares, the clothes, whatever the expenses that person may need. You want to take care of it. But you have to be understanding on what they can and what they can't take care of. It's always going to revert back to the first topic, the first point. Communication. So be realistic in what you want from a person. Know who that person is. Don't just put pressure on people because your friends, the internet, people saying, millionaires saying, y'all got a number y'all good at. Stay at y'all number. Be comfortable in y'all number. When y'all ready to get to that point, then you go to that point. But until then, don't make it more than what it is. Love a person. Care for a person. Show them that you're there to protect, man or women. Show them that you're there to understand, man or women. Show them that you're there to grow with them, man or women. Show them that you're there for them, men or women. So you understand that, like, this is realistic what I can grow with this person. This is realistic that I understand this person. It's realistic that we got 40,000. We got to figure a way to get to 60. We got to figure a way to get to 80. If you just want to be taken care of, just tell a person, male or female, hey, I want to be taken care of. I want to sit back and relax and do my thing, and that's what it's going to be. But do it the right way. Because it's important that you do it the right way. And I'm going to just jump into the truth. Financial stability. When you meet a person at an age of 25 for women, probably 25, 30 for men, you're looking for a person stable. When I'm stable, I'm talking about basics. Stable basics. Own car, own house, taking care of themselves, well groomed, working on things in life. Them the bare minimum, bare basics. If we got the bare minimum and the bare basics, that means we got some piece of stability. Some piece. Some people ain't gonna have all that, but that's for you to figure out how far you go. But the basic stabilities, you gotta have the basic stabilities to even get to the 50-50, the 60-40, the 80-20, the 100, the 0. Some of y'all think it's gonna be a miracle. It's not going to be a miracle. Somebody is not gonna wake up tomorrow and understand, I've been living out here all this time and I don't know how to get to that point. They've never been stable. But you want this man to be stable. This man ain't never took care of you. When you met him, he was at his mama's house. When you met her, she was at her mama's house, cousin's house, but they weren't on their grind. Things could have come up. Now, I'm not saying nobody can't be at their people's house, because some people go to their people's house to build a house. Some people go to their house to transition. I get that point. But I mean, that person been there for 5 years and they don't have an out plan. They just willing to stay there. But you telling yourself in 5 years, I want to be taken care of, but they been there for 5 years. Do the math. They been there for 5. You think in the next 5 that they gonna change who they were when you met them. They're not gonna change. All that potential goes out the window. At a certain age, potential goes out the window. Period. You can say what you want to say, how you want to say it. At a certain age, potential goes out the window. Because I want to know what you're doing, what you're working on, and where you're going. What you're doing, what you're working on, and where you're going. The potential that's for high schoolers. That's for 20 and under for real to me. Everybody got some kind of potential. However, I want to know your track record. Do you always fail? Do you like failing? Are you okay with failing? Do you like blaming it on others? But stability, you want some kind of stability. Stop looking for a miracle without stability. It don't make sense. People do that. Why y'all do that? Why I did that before myself personally. I'm not exempt. You can't make a grown up, an adult, do something they're not willing to do. You can't make an adult grow if they don't want to grow. You can't make an adult stable if they don't want to be stable. No matter how much you care for them, no matter how much you love them, you cannot make that happen. It's not going to happen if they don't want it. That's where the potential come in. Oh, I see it. I think they might. That's not how it works in the real world. Stop using potential as an excuse for you to be with somebody just because you feel like you're emotionally tied to them. It shouldn't be that reason. That's a hindrance. That slows you down from where you're trying to go at, because now you're trying to make somebody who you want them to be, not who they want to be. It's very important that you do it that way. That you forget about the potential sometimes. You got some people that are great at potential, meaning they're going to be somebody someday. However, how much time you got to wait? That should be a factor. Do you got 5, 2, 1, 10? How many years you got to wait for somebody to get to where you trying to get them to go at? Male or female? Remember, people only change for themselves. People don't normally change for the other person. It has to be in your heart. It has to be in your will. It has to be in what you want from yourself to change. You know, you got to remember that. Financially stable. Does that person know how to pay bills? Have they ever paid bills? Do they miss bills? When you go out to dinner, do you always pay the tab? Do they ever pay the tab? You know, how many times they called you because the phone bill was late, the electric bill was late, the mortgage and rent was late, and they didn't know what to do or how to do it? That's important. It all reverts back to communication, rather goes back to communication. Learn that person. Because if your end goal is to be 100 and 0 male or female, meaning you say I'm going to take care of the kids. You go to school while he go to work. You cook, clean, whatever you got going on your end, you know, male or female, you're doing it. And that person is going out there hustling, making sure that you can get to that number. Like I said, it can be 80-20, 100, 50-50, whatever the number you like. But communicate that with that person early. Don't wait till you 7 years, 7 months in and say, look, I want this from you. That's unfair to you and it's unfair to them. Don't get into the potential game. We all done been in the potential game, but at some step you have to step out of the potential game. It's very, 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 very important. Because in 6 years, if they come out the potential game and you was that person, you was it, and you gave them that vibe, they'll recircle and find you if it was it. But if you wasn't, that wasn't nothing. You ain't missed nothing. But stop using that as an excuse for you to be waiting, thinking, trying to figure out how you're going to get that financial stability from a person, another person. And when we meet, you should be financially stable and I should be financially stable. That's just my opinion. We should be here. So we starting off at a good track. If you here and I'm here, wrong track. If I'm here and you here, wrong track. We should be here. If we are right here We got something to work with. If you down here and I'm up here, now I gotta work more harder. If you down here and I'm up here, I gotta work more. You gotta work more harder. So make sure that you financially stable when you ready to make that step, that transition, to even get to the point where you understand, well, I want a baby. You can go do your thing. I'm gonna bring in all these bills. You go get your master's or bachelor's degree. I'm gonna hold it down. Don't you worry about none of that. The kids home, and you want to start a business at home, do it that way. Everybody has their way of how they're gonna do it. Just know that. Make sure you start on an even, level. It's a lot easier to start from here than here. Don't start the race from behind. Start the race right here. Because it's important. It's very, very important. You want to know if your futures line up. You want to make sure that your futures are in line some kind of way. You can use goals. You can do what we're trying to go. You can do your 5-year plan, your 2-year plan, your 5-month plan, your 6-month plan, your 1-month plan. But do our futures in line. You want an apartment? I want a house. I want a condo. You want to live in the country. You don't want to work? I want to work. I want to work. I want you to work. Speak about that. Talk about that. It's very important because where our future going at? Why we talking about 50-50, 60-40, 30-30, but where we got in the future, where we going at? If we don't align later on, then we doing this work for nothing. Why we putting in all this work if I know I don't want to be the man that just take care of you and you sit home? Or you want to be the house mom and I ain't never know that. I want to pop out babies and just sit home. If the man never knew that, then what he signed up for? You can't wait till you had a baby to say, well, look, I want to sit home and chill. That ain't fair to nobody. If your woman want to go off and go to school and y'all understand that look in 5 years she gonna get that master's degree, bachelor's, whatever she trying to get to, y'all spoke about it and talked about it, it's gonna be a time where you gonna be 100 in, she ain't gonna be nothing in. Babe, I got this. If she want to take a year off, I got this. But you gotta remember now, the man or woman had to be financially stable and financially okay with that move. You should be able to go to your partner and say, look, babe, I want to go to college for the next 4 years and I might not be able to bring in the income that I need. Can we hold it down? Can you hold it down? Most men in my case, I'm going to say, babe, go do that because that's the better of us, not just better for you. Go ahead and do that. Another man might not be able to do that. He might not have the financial fund to say, babe, he might say get a part-time job. Who knows? I don't know nobody else's finance. I know mine. If my lady says she want to go to college and do it, go. The better you, the better growth for us, I'm with it. Go ahead. I'm going to hold it down. Ain't nothing. I'm not saying it ain't nothing, but I have the finances and means to do so. So it makes sense for me. But that may not be for you. 300,000, 50,000 is different. 40,000, 200,000 different. The numbers got to make sense. If you know your man can't hold you down, or you know your woman can't hold you down for you to take that time off, that's when y'all need to sit in the room and figure out a plan to get to that point. It's very important. Don't just spring it on somebody because it's something you want to do. Be willing to come and tell them what you want to do. Explain it in a way that makes it make sense. You want to pop out baby and sit home? That's fine too. Make it make sense. But I'm going to go to work. I'm going to get this money. You go pop these babies out. It's cheaper for us to sit home and no daycare. And you do your thing. But I want my baby to be a hustler. You know what I'm talking about? She home on the internet trying to figure out her next move. Her next college course she want to take in. So she just not sitting home. Because the sitting home stuff for me personally, I don't mind it. But I know how to cook, clean, do all the other stuff, so I'm not expecting you that'd be a part of your task while you sitting at home. You don't get kudos for doing something that's normal that we both been doing since we were kids. If I was raised properly and you was raised properly, my mom taught me to cook, clean, do the same thing as you did. So that excuse, we gonna just throw that one out the window. But if you home getting your hustle on, I'm gonna respect that. Cause I'm out here getting this cheese, dropping the cheese at the table. You ain't got no words on your end. But don't just be looking at a man saying, cause he got the bread, I just want to see him pop out babies, cause that's unfair to him. He want a legacy, you want a legacy. It's better when you build it upon two. For real. It's better to build it upon two instead of one. So make sure them goals align. Not goals just where we going in the next 2, 5, 6 months, that we going in the same direction. Because if we going in 2 different directions, then where we going in? And we should find this out early. I ain't talking about just because you was 20, 25, 19. Have a conversation. Where you going at? It's important to have that conversation because everybody don't see it that way. Some people have a short mindset, meaning they thinking like next month, tomorrow, next week. Well, you may be thinking, well, in 20 years, I want to be a millionaire. And that person next month, I want to be 1,000 now. We got 2 different mindsets. If I tell Bae I want to be a millionaire, I hope she in the back room thinking, yeah, we finna get that. We ain't thinking no more 1,000 now. Vice versa, male or woman. You know, you should be able to encourage your person that you dealing with, talking to, engaged to, married to get to the next point, a next level of where y'all going at. Because it's important. Very, very important. And last but not least, I can give the world to you. And my biggest thing, and I know most men's biggest thing is, can you be my peace? You know, I'm a hustler. Since I was a young boy. Straight face, hustler. I'm going to get it. Not just the money. I'm going to go get it. Not just a relationship. I'm going to go get it. What I want in 10 years or 5 years, I'm going to go get it. The mindset. I'm going to go get it. So if you know that person you're dealing with going to go get it, be their peace. Be that person peace. That's very, very important. When I say peace, I don't just mean a small part of peace, meaning I don't aggravate you. But be my helpmate. Be my motivate. Be my push. Be my partner. Because if I'm doing what I'm doing on my end, the last thing I need is no peace. And I think that's very important in the 50-50, 60-40, 40-40, 120, whatever relationship you're in, you got to find a time and a place where you give that person you talking to, dealing with, in love with, peace. Peace is important. I know we have a lot going on. I know we think a lot. I know that, we have hurt days at work. We have hurt days at home. We have full days at home. We have good energy. We have good vibes. However, if you want me to carry this load, male or female, be able to give that person that peace, that motivation, that support, that understanding that I got you. Because you still have a role if you 20-80, if you 100-0, if you 60-40, if you 50-50, whatever your role is, you got a role. Find your role now. Find your role, because it's important. It's very important that you find your role. Because you can have all the money in the world and no peace. What you got? Find your peace. Find your communication. Find your financial stability. Find it. Have realistic goals in line. Make sure you're in line of where you're going at. Make sure you see that future with that person. If you don't see the future with that person, don't waste your time. If you know they ain't got no financial stability in their life, don't waste your time. If you know that person can't communicate, don't waste your time. If you know that person can't give you peace, don't waste your time. 50-50 is a number. You know what you want. You know what you expect. You know what you deserve. You know the time you put in. You know the work you put in. You know what you want in life. And if you don't know, you got time to figure it out. But in relationship, if it's going to be 100, if it's going to be 50, if it's going to be 60, if it's going to be 40, be willing to do your part. I am TRCaution. If you like my video, my message, my podcast, I drop gems. Tap in with me for the next episode. Look out for it. Share it if you vibe with it. Share it if you like it. Comment if you want me to talk back to you. I'm out.